Podcast with Rich Keefe. It's the DORK. Podcast Ryan Davey. It's the DORK. Podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag DORK Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs. He is Raven Von Daven. All hail the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan Davey. Davey, how are you?
I'm doing all right. What a hot one today, huh?
Oh, too hot. Too hot.
What's that? I got a new drink I learned.
Ooh, what do you have there, sir?
Have you ever had an infusion? It's right up my alley.
Yeah.
These are fucking delicious.
Yeah.
I had one of these on the golf course the other day.
How'd you make it?
So this is very on brand.
Mm-hmm.
It's vodka.
Okay.
So 2 parts vodka.
Okay.
2 parts ginger ale.
Okay.
1 part grape juice.
Little gingy grape, little grape gingy.
This is
spiked.
This is something else. You had one on the golf course on Father's Day. Man. Woo!
Nice. Yeah, you have yourself a little time. Have yourself a day.
Uh-huh.
You hit the links? How'd you shoot them?
Well, I got hurt. On the last, did I mention it last podcast? I got hurt.
No, I don't think so.
So as you know, I have a serious issue with my neck back, like basically from my left side of my neck all the way down my arm. So
besides your neck, back, and arm, like you're in decent shape.
I'm in decent shape, but as you know, if you pat me on the shoulder, my whole hand tingles.
Sure.
Right. And it's been getting worse since I hold up a heavy camera as much as I do. Like the repetitive motion is like, so right now, like my thumb and index finger on my left hand are like tingling, like as we speak right now. There's like a knot back there. So I hit a ball fat and I huge divot, right? But that, like my whole hand went numb. And so like for the last 4 holes, and then I had to hit a ball out of the sand trap and I couldn't feel my left hand. And it was just like, if you've ever had a stinger, there's 2 levels. There's one that just kind of everything goes numb. And then there's another one where I'm sure you've had it where it's just fire, where it's just straight fire down your arm. So I hit a ball out of the sand trap and I just went and sat down. My dad's like, stop, please stop.
Fine. Yeah.
I was winning. So I always, on Father's Day, I golf with me, my brother, my father, and my nephew, my brother's son.
Nice.
So I was winning by 2 strokes, heading into the 18th hole. And then I couldn't fucking do it anymore. I couldn't feel my hand.
Yeah, call Dr. Joe. Call the backcracker.
Yeah, I know. I should. But I'm afraid that if he cracks whatever the shit is in my back, it's behind my shoulder blade.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt like a motherfucker.
I also had a friend of mine. I don't know if this is true or not. He's like, as soon as you go to a chiropractor once, he's like, then you're kind of married to it.
Well, that's absolutely true and I will say this, because you don't know how bad you feel until you feel good.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It just becomes normal.
This is what I've been living with, and then it changes.
And then you're sitting up straight and you're like, oh my God.
Jason in the chat's calling you out saying, yeah, I'm sure you have a heavy camera. That's why your hands went numb, and maybe suggesting you have an absolute unit down there.
I mean, one of the things I used to say to people when I did have shoulder problems, I would go to the bathroom and then ask if anyone wanted to come with me because the doctor said I shouldn't lift anything heavy.
Yeah, right.
Shouldn't lift anything over 5 pounds with this bad shoulder. Yeah,
I get it. Yeah, because the huge pee I got down there. So you played.
So it's more my belly, lifting my belly up.
He's like, oh
yeah.
So, dude, I came out of basketball semi-retirement to play. Shark organized and he did it for charity as well. The guy he raised a bunch of money, donated to the food pantry. And so Shark hosted. So,
you're one of those good people? Fuck you, dickhead.
What are you, better than me, Shark? Yeah, better than me.
Grab his dick and twist it.
No, we're not doing that. So,
not yet.
It was he has a full basketball court in his backyard. Brag for him. And so it was a 3-on-3 tournament. I haven't played in years. The last time I even shot a ball was for that Fourier thing, where it was just shooting hoops to make money, but that wasn't a game. That was shooting with no defense. So thank God I didn't know much of the rules when I showed up. This was on Sunday, and I'm like, this isn't full court, is it? Because I will pull a hamstring.
I will die.
Will get in a lot of trouble. Thank the Lord above. It was half court 3-on-3.
Whew. All right.
Even still. So we ended up playing 4 games. We won the first 2 games. Me and Shark were on the same team, and we won the first 2. and then we lost the second two, and then I think we finished like third. But you don't realize, like, even if you're not trying to be like Steve Wojciechowski and like slap the floor, you still gotta crouch down to play defense. Like, you can't just be like walking around. Like, I haven't done that. I haven't bent over to play defense in I don't know how long.
A dog's age, would you say? A fortnight?
I would say at least a fortnight, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 3. And
a score? How long is a score? 4 score is like 12 years. A score is
20
12
years. Is it 12 or 20?
Score's 20 years?
I think. No, 4
I gotta Google it.
4 score would be 80 years. I'm gonna say
score is 20 years. Yes.
How do you like that?
Yeah.
So I was fucking sliding around playing some defense, trying to jump up for some rebounds. That was the one thing that was crazy, is like the ball's up in the air, and 18-year-old Rich Keefe would just hop up and grab it. Now 40-year-old Rich Keefe's like, there it is, where it is, way up sky. And so I am sore. I didn't get hurt, but I'm sore everywhere. I could feel it. My glutes feel it, right?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, right in the tush.
I need a good ass rub. Is maybe what I need.
Call Dr. Joe.
Dr. Joe does ass rubs.
I don't know. Maybe you'll do it to good tuchus.
Let me call you back, right? You gotta talk to Joe here. But anyway, so that was good. I hope everybody out there had a good Father's Day and all of that good stuff. And yeah, the heat wave is brutal. I guess tomorrow's gonna be real bad. Thursday might be the worst of it.
Oh, it's gonna be the worst of it. And it's gonna break just in time for Friday.
Dude, I walked like 10 feet today. Just Cece started her little like, it's sort of like camp, but it's really like where she went to preschool. But anyway,
yeah.
I walked like 10 steps from the car to the thing, full back sweat. Like, oh
yeah.
If you like back
sweat, it's Swamp Thing hours right now.
It is. Well, and that's why famously our one argument, we actually agree on it. Would you rather be hot or cold? It's not even close. Give me hypothermia before you give me the fucking sweats.
I would rather work in 10-degree weather than 100-degree weather.
Yeah.
Here's a good would you rather, Richard.
Please hit me.
Would you rather eat your favorite food for every single meal or never eat it again? Now think about it.
I gotta think
about what I just said.
Okay. Every single meal.
Every single meal.
I skip breakfast. I know they say you shouldn't, but whatever. I'm 40. I'm doing all right.
Coffee is breakfast.
Yep. A nice iced coffee year round. And then, so I'd really just be eating this thing twice. And so I got to decide whether it's donuts, milkshakes, buffalo chicken tenders, or
like if you had to eat buffalo chicken tenders every day the rest of your life. Twice.
Yes, I think the answer is probably never.
Right.
I have plenty of things I like.
How quickly does your favorite food become your least favorite food?
I bet close to a week.
Yeah.
I ate a turkey BLT sandwich for lunch for like 6 years straight. So like
a good turkey club.
Yeah. I can eat the same shit pretty consistently, but it wasn't every single meal.
So I have a friend who same thing. Like he would eat the same 4 things. Like it was like chicken, like buffalo chicken tenders, Chipotle.
Yeah, I love it.
Like he would just eat like chicken parm for like he would just eat like the same 4 things like on a rotation. And he was dating a girl that was friends with my brother, and it didn't work out. And so my brother asked his female friend, like, "Oh, what happened with so and so?" And she was just like, "I can't eat any more Chipotle. I just can't eat any more Chipotle."
He must get so many free ones though if he's in the rewards program.
He probably does. Yeah.
That's good stuff. I would recommend getting in any of those rewards programs. I'm getting like free coffees left, right, and center. You know, you got to get in on that.
And Josh Clark, by the way, Josh in the chat from First City Meats, his office is 35 degrees year round. I was incredibly comfortable.
Oh, hell.
Hanging out with him and taking pictures. Was just in like a long sleeve t-shirt. I was like, I'm good.
If I have to change jobs in my industry, I certainly could at any moment. Meats. I could get involved with meats, I think. Because I like that. When I worked in the warehouse a couple summers in college, you couldn't really exactly pick what you did. I was in the cigarette selecting department.
Sure, yeah.
But there was also a cooler and a freezer, and they both get paid more per hour. And I'm like, why? It's the summer. That's where you could wear a hoodie in there. You're having a great time. And so every once in a while, like if we were done our job, they're like, "Hey, does anybody want to go in the cooler?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to go in the goddamn cooler."
I want to sit in there. Do I have to do anything in there, or just want me to sit in there?
Can't sit. You got to be in there pretty active, moving ice creams, moving popsicles. You're pretty
sneak one.
Yeah, there's no sitting down at that place.
No, you're sneaking a couple popsicles. You're sneaking an ice cream sandwich or something.
It's funny. I remember. So that literally that was my job, was selecting cigarettes for like these deliveries all over New England. So we'd be like in like the stacks, and there would just be cartons and cartons, like boxes and boxes and boxes of cigarettes. And my dad, like nothing really bothers him. Like you can't really like get his goat. Like he doesn't
Unshakable.
unshakable, and like nothing really bothers him. Like you could say, like you could do some like horrible thing or like something really bad happened. You're like, and you'd be like, all right, like let's figure this out. But I would always pretend I'm like, I think I'm gonna steal a bunch of these cigarettes and sell them. And he's like, oh, that's real smart. That's real smart to do that. Like he actually thought like that's something I was gonna do. It was the only thing that's ever bothered him, and it was like such a fantastical lie. I'm like, Dad, do you know how much these go for? And he's a smoker.
Was he? No, he was a smoker, right? He was a smoker. So I think he was offended on that level that like he couldn't get them. He would have to buy them from you.
Maybe.
So similar. So the same friend who would eat Chipotle all the time, his dad ran the move. And now everyone's going to know who this is. His dad ran the moving company we worked for.
There you go.
And one of the things we did, we came home from school, and one of the things he did, he was the distributor for Girl Scout cookies.
Oh,
so all the Girl Scout cookies got delivered to this moving company, and then we would distribute them like where they needed to go.
Yeah.
Some of those fell off the truck too.
I would imagine.
Some of those cases of Samoas fell off the truck, if you know what I mean.
How good is a nice Samoa? Put that in the fridge,
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're dealing with it. Hey, right. I got a pitch idea here, and I feel pretty good about this. Before we get to the news and before we get to the topic du jour. Yeah.
Schlock talk. You come around on it.
It's kind of like Schlock. Well, no. So we did a rewatch 2 weeks ago. You can check the archives if you missed it.
Super fun, by the way.
We went back and watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is hilarious because one of my sister-in-laws texted me, and she's like, my nephew, she's like, he's like in middle school. She's like, he's watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and he said it was a recommendation from DORK. I was like, yes, it was. I got to have some of my favorite movies. So anyway, I was thinking long and hard about this. And this show,
that's all you do. You're all about long and hard. That's you.
So this is more in my wheelhouse, and that I know you should pick one because basically Roger Rabbit was sort of my choice. So I'm all for you picking one, but I feel really strongly about 90s horror, as you know that I do.
Yeah.
In a movie that I think never got the credit it deserves, and in hindsight, when you look back at the insane cast that it had. And I also have what I read a theory. There's a movie theory of a shared universe potential.
I know what's coming. I know what's coming right now, but God, I think.
What's your guess?
Go ahead.
What's your guess?
Jawbreaker.
Ooh, I love Jawbreaker. Even I shouldn't say even better. Equally as good.
Final Destination.
That's a good one too.
Urban Legend.
Oh, I love Urban Legend. No.
Yeah.
Good. These are all great guesses, and they were all in my DVD collection. The Faculty.
That was like, I knew it was something with some heartthrobs in it. Some 90s heartthrobs.
This is so 90s, like the music, the costume or the wardrobe.
Costume.
So you're going to love this. So Robert Rodriguez directed it.
Yep.
Kevin Williamson did the screenplay. The cast is insane.
So I'm looking at it right now. We got Elijah Wood.
Yep.
Josh Hartnett.
Yep.
Who else is in this?
Ursher, Jon Stewart.
Okay.
Salma Hayek. The film debut of Jordana Brewster.
Okay.
You also have Shooter McGavin. And then like a few other people like popped up and you're like, holy shit. So here's what I read. There's a shared universe potential for Cabin in the Woods. Because
interesting.
This is very sci-fi, The Faculty, as you know.
Yes.
And there's the
aliens, right?
Aliens, and there's the very clear stereotypes too, just like in Cabin in the Woods of like jock, stoner, goth, popular girl, like that shit, right?
Yeah.
And there's a line that the two like scientists or whatever have in Cabin in the Woods talking about like the one fuck up from back in 98. Like, oh, there was like a screw up in 98.
Oh, yeah.
And people think they're referencing this movie. And so if you
would be awesome.
If you watch it through those eyes, I think you can see it. Like this could be a Cabin in the Woods shared universe with The Faculty.
Someone needs to get Drew Goddard on the phone. It's like, were you talking? Did Drew Goddard have anything to do with The Faculty?
That's a good question. I bet no, but I bet he loved it. Like, what was he doing in 1998? I bet he was just watching.
He was writing for
Buffy.
So he got his start. Yeah,
no, Buffy wasn't on yet, was it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
But he got his start writing Buffy fan fiction and sending it to Joss Whedon.
No shit.
So he was probably all over this.
So this is one where, and because it's got Kevin Williamson's script, it's very like, it's sort of what Scream did, but for sci-fi. Like there is a lot of very meta stuff in this and the way that it's done. And I was reading some old interviews that some of the actors did, and they were like, yeah, this was one that wasn't super popular originally, but like we've had so many people after the fact. It's a cult classic, I would say.
Yes, it is a cult. It is definitely a cult movie, and one that I haven't seen.
Oh, you haven't?
In like 20. No, I haven't seen it in like 20 years.
It's on Pluto. If you're looking
on Pluto right now.
It is for free on Pluto. So that'd be my pitch. So the next time we do a vote, that's gonna be one of the candidates. I like that.
All right. So one of my candidates, I'm gonna mention two. So one that two movies. So we want to pitch two and we'll make it a 4-banger for
the next time.
For the next we do 4 for the poll, right?
Yeah, 4 for the
poll.
Each do 2 next week. Do we need one for next week? Maybe.
So I would say for me, it would be number 1, This is Spinal Tap.
Great one.
You can rewatch. Who doesn't want to watch that again?
Perfect.
And maybe 2, Army of Darkness.
That's a good one too.
It's been on my mind recently.
I like it. Yeah, you got the T-shirt.
Yeah,
you got the
Captain Supermarket.
I like that's a good idea. So Army of Darkness, Spinal Tap, Faculty, and let me get back to you because I want to make sure that it's free streaming. Because last time we kind of screwed that up, and there was luckily Roger Rabbit won the poll, but that was the only one that was like easily streamable.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Let's get to this.
This week in DORK. Yeah.
House of the Dragon season 2 premiered Sunday night on HBO, and them Thrones boys were back. If you missed it, me, Davey, and Chris Scheim are going to be recapping every episode of House of the Dragon. I'm looking ahead to the schedule. There might be one that I have to miss. Not sure. But Sunday nights, as soon as it's over, so right around 10 o'clock, we're going to try to go live and just give our spoiler full reaction to House of the Dragon. Episode 1, you can go back and listen to it right now on the podcast, or you can watch it on YouTube. I thought it was a good episode, and then it got fucking crazy. And so we broke it all down yesterday.
Sure did.
Did you get a chance to see any of The Boys yet, as season 4 first 3 episodes came out on Prime?
Wouldn't you believe it? I haven't had a minute, but I plan on shotgunning these things tomorrow. I have the day off, so nice. It'll be interesting to the Acolyte and The Boys I have to catch up on.
All right, very good. Yeah, I thought a good start for The Boys. I am sort of like, all right, what are we doing here? Let's kind of get going. I just like Homelander so much. Like we've talked about Anthony Starr, being such an incredible actor, good character. Sort of seeing what they're going to do with this a little bit more, but I'm liking it. They also announced that season 5 is going to be the final season of The Boys.
I think that's good. That's 5 is kind of the sweet spot. If you're going to end it, it should end at 5.
Yeah, a lot of shows I think went 5 seasons, right? The Wire went 5 seasons, and
Breaking Bad went 5 seasons.
Yeah,
I think Saul went 6, but like one wasn't one of them. Like
yeah.
I
like it. So that's the Boys. So we'll do a standalone at the end rather than doing like episode recaps. We'll do it at the end for season 4. Same for the Acolyte, maybe the most polarizing show of all time. There's a lot of angry people about the Acolyte.
I am like, what are you angry? If you're angry about this show, I want you to ask yourself what you're angry about.
Yeah.
Like really boil it down to like
there was a fire in outer space. It's like, all right, that's why you're mad.
Okay.
There's
also like light swords.
Yep.
And laser beams.
I'm not telling you the show's perfect.
It's not. No, it's got some holes.
It's also insane when like the Roddy T scores are like 95 critics, like 15 audience. It's like this really angers you that much. But anyway, we talked about that last week. When we did the first 2 episode breakdown. Episode 3 I thought was pretty good, and not to go too deep into spoilers there if you guys are waiting to binge it, but they get into like witches, and so that's like a big pushback because people be like, oh, Star Wars is witches. It's like, so you're basically telling us you didn't watch Clone Wars, you didn't watch
Right.
Ahsoka, you don't care for that, which is
You
fine.
didn't read any of the books. You didn't read any, so you're not a fan.
So right, or like you only like the old movies, which is fine.
Right.
Then watch the old movies. That's great. You can enjoy the old movies.
Yeah.
This expanded sort of Star Wars universe definitely has a place for witches, and I'm all about it.
And so one for me, I feel as though like you said, how big a fan are you, and how much allowed, I can't say this correctly, but like how upset are you allowed to be if you're not really a fan? Like you haven't like seen this stuff before. That means like you haven't been paying attention. And also that like, really, like, do you honestly believe that in a galaxy this vast, that the only people who can use the Force are Jedi?
No, and I think it's great that others.
It's great.
It makes it so
they
much.
Call
better.
it different things, and they call it. It's like a different religion. Yeah,
of course they would call it other things.
Yeah, what do they call it? The thread.
Yeah, and like they show them kind of like cooking something up, like.
And
I'm fascinated to see where this goes.
I love
it quite a bit.
And this is one of those things. It's going to sound bad when I say it, right? But like when like you have Palpatine basically prolonging his own life and creating life through the Force. When he does it, it's fine. But when two women do it, it's bad.
Yeah, right. That was a big.
I know when I say it like that, it sounds bad, but like that's what you're saying. They're like, oh no, only an old white guy can do that. You get two women who love each other and they do it, then that's wrong. Like, no, you're an idiot.
I normally don't get into back and forths on Twitter just because like there's no point. No one wins. It's a waste of time. Like whatever. But there was a guy because I basically did like the meme from Tangled where like the dude's got all the swords at him, and I'm just like I like the Acolyte, and like a lot of people agreed, a lot of people are like I hate it, and like that's fine.
That's fine.
But then one guy was like, oh, you like space witches? And I'm like, I actually love
Dathomir? The Night Sisters? Fuck
my favorite shit. And then he said, so he's like, oh, so you like when they just steal something from Dune? And I was like,
didn't you say like everything George Lucas stole everything from Dune?
Like literally, yes. That Star Wars is Dune. Star Wars is what happened when George Lucas watched Dune. And guess what? They can both be great. But
yeah, I don't understand like the whole why one thing has to be
I don't either
good and one thing has to be bad. I don't get it.
People are angry. This week in angry, it's the Acolyte.
And if you use the word woke as an insult, I got 3 words for you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Yeah, no, that's usually a tell too early on where I'm like, all right, just skip over
this. Is who I'm dealing. You just show your hand to like who I'm dealing with. If you're like, oh, woke Star Wars, like,
oh my god.
But the whole and it's ironic that the definition of woke is someone who gets easily offended by things, and yet here you are, letting space witches like completely ruin your day so much that you go on the internet and completely tank a show.
Yeah. I hate to go through this. We did it with some of the later Marvel shows where it's like, is it woke or is it just what's like the word or the phrase? Like
you're just late to the party. Like it's been
or is it just like inclusion or whatever, or like how important it is for like every single kid out there to be able to see somebody in a movie that is like a hero that looks like them, or you know what I mean, or like has a similar upbringing as they do, like whatever. Not to go down that whole road again. We got a new trailer for an Apple TV Plus movie starring Casey Affleck, The Instigators, and Matt Damon.
Do we need this?
I don't know. August 9th.
Another Boston caper movie?
Yeah, it's like a heist.
One so it's basically like The Departed guy and The Town, because you have guys robbing stuff. And then somehow, like a psychologist is involved, like in The Departed guy.
The Departed? I don't know. I'll watch this. I watch a lot of movies, but I'm not like
written by Casey Affleck and someone else, right? So it's I don't know. But
friend of the show, Casey Affleck.
Friend of the show. Yep.
Big news.
Gronk is in it. Apparently, I saw him on the trailer.
Gronk was also in the movie Boss Level, starring what's his name? Fucking Jack guy.
Slim Dickens.
Yosemite Sam. No, that was that time loop movie. Boss Level. Did you ever see that? It was actually really good. It was on Hulu. It was good. What was the guy that was in the movie Paul T. Goldman? Was it Frank Grillo?
Frank Grillo. Yeah.
Yeah, Frank Grillo was in Boss Level.
Isn't he the coolest? He's
Dude,
the coolest. How cool is he?
Guy's
What-
got a full mast for Frank Grillo.
I can understand that. Frank Grillo looks like an impressive man. I love when Paul T. Goldman's trying to talk to Frank Grillo, and he's like, "Man, dating's just the worst, isn't it?" And Frank Grillo's like, "I'm actually having a lot of fun with it." And I was like, "I bet you are, dude."
I have to rewatch that. Paul T.
That-
Goldman was a ride.
Paul T. Goldman was so good, and yet I feel like we were the only people talking about it. I didn't hear a peep about Paul T. Goldman anywhere else.
Mhm.
That was a wild thing. And we got a bunch of people that emailed us that were like, "Oh my God, like, thanks for pointing that out."
Yeah.
Because that kind of came and went, but it was so crazily done. Doesn't it feel like that would have been like a Nathan Fielder project?
Absolutely, because you don't know like what you just heard, how much of it is the truth and how much of it isn't. Because
I mean,
the
I think
more
that
it goes on.
I think that guy's mostly full of shit, but it's also the way the director filmed the whole thing was so unique.
It was so unique. And again, like if you say something enough times or if you truly believe it. So like I think like people who are like malignant narcissists who like keep repeating the same lie until they themselves believe it. Are you lying? If you think that's the truth, are you lying?
I don't think you're lying. I think you're wrong.
Right. But like but it's like, you know, when someone's like, I never said that, like you did. Or when someone's like trying to get like,
right. Are
they
you
really believe
knowingly lying, or
you're
wrong?
You
maybe?
just really think that your mind is fucked and you think that's how that went.
We're getting Watchmen animated movies, chapter 1 and chapter 2. I don't know.
Why?
Where's this even coming out? I was very confused because I saw you tweeted.
I'm guessing it's going to be on Max. If anything, is all the DC content's on there?
Yeah, or is it like a Paramount thing? Oh no, but it is a DC property. So yeah, maybe it will be on Max.
But like, why? I don't understand why. Like, why do we need that? We have a movie that's pretty good.
Yep.
Despite itself. And even though they changed the ending, which was stupid, but and a show which was spectacular.
Yeah.
Why do we need to do this again?
I don't think
and animated, no less.
Yeah, I don't think we do.
We don't need this.
Blade lost another director.
Yeah.
Starting
the
to
new
wonder,
Gambit, like you said, it's the new Gambit.
I'm starting to wonder if we're gonna get
which
Blade.
We talked Channing Tatum as Gambit. We're like, this is the greatest. Of course, like this is the greatest idea ever.
Mm-hmm.
Mahershala Ali is Blade. You're like, fucking fantastic.
Sick.
And with a good director, and you're like, oh yeah, this is too good to be true. Obviously, too good to be true.
So, did you see some of this? People must have clipped like from the trailer of Deadpool and Wolverine that there looks like there's going to be a Blade in Deadpool and Wolverine, but it's not Mahershala Ali. It's not Wesley Snipes. It's the guy from the CW show that like nobody watched. There was a Blade CW show back in the day.
Yeah.
But the joke is Ryan Reynolds was in Blade Trinity.
Yes.
And apparently Wesley Snipes was the biggest asshole ever.
Yes.
To everybody on set, including Ryan Reynolds. So Ryan Reynolds does not like Wesley Snipes, at least according to what I've read. And so they're going to put, I bet he makes a direct joke about it. And so they're putting in the fucking CW Blade and not Wesley Snipes. It's amazing.
Would you hear TJ Miller talking about Ryan Reynolds too?
No, what did TJ Miller say?
So he's not in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Is he canceled though?
He was for a little bit. I think he's just weird. I think he's like weird and creepy. I don't think he did anything like.
Did he do? But there was something, right? Like, or
there was something.
Did he just say something bad, or I forget?
A lot. I forget. It wasn't like it was like him and Aziz Ansari like the same time. Like you didn't really know one way or the other. Like,
okay.
But anyway, so he's like, he went on some podcast and he was talking about Ryan Reynolds, and he's just like, yeah, I wouldn't work with him again. He's like, he's already not in the movie, and he's I would never work with him again. It's like no one fucking asked you. That's just saying like I didn't want to go to that party, and like, well, you weren't invited.
Yeah.
I wouldn't show up to parties like that. That's not my thing, man. I'm not doing that. I'm like, well, good, because you weren't invited.
I wouldn't go to Harvard. Like, all right, fine.
Okay. Yeah, you're not in. Yeah, fuck that. Everyone who goes there's a moron anyway.
So TJ Miller doesn't like Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, I think so. If it's Ryan Reynolds or TJ Miller, or Ryan Reynolds or Wesley Snipes, I feel like Ryan Reynolds is probably coming out on top.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. Matthew TJ Miller did a fake bomb threat on a train.
That I did that, but it was something with, it was like a Me Too thing. It was like
He did something.
some woman come out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did come out and say that he was aggressive or.
Let
me see.
Yeah.
Because now it's going to bother me.
Yeah, but so his character, was he in Deadpool 2?
Oh, wait, no, hang on. Accused of sexually assaulting and punching a woman.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, this was in.
Yeah, but we haven't seen this guy.
2021. Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while. But he was recently on a podcast being like, well, I wouldn't want to work with Ryan Reynolds anyway. It's like, well, yeah, well, you weren't fucking invited.
Well, yeah. Credit where credit's due, though. He was hilarious in Silicon Valley. The guy might be the biggest piece of shit in the world.
And that show
was funny.
Stunk when he was off it.
Yeah, it did.
Stunk.
Yeah, that show took a dip. But again,
yeah,
might be a giant piece of shit. But all right, let's get to this.
It's time for Davey's video game minute. Even if it takes more than a minute.
All right, sir, what do you have?
Well, I got to tell you, there was a Nintendo Direct today, and I'm going to be completely honest and upfront with every listener here. I did not watch a single minute of it. I've been far too busy.
Yeah,
but I don't have so much. If you want to check out Nintendo Direct and what went down today, it's basically like, oh, we got these new games, but I don't think they mentioned a new console yet, which we've been talking about for years. I feel like now. Well, it's hinted that like the new Switch will have like the same hardware specs as like a PlayStation 4. Like what, or PlayStation 4 Pro? Like what good does that do us? Really?
Let's not go back. Let's go forward.
And if you talk about that, like you talk about what I'm frustrated with these specs is that you have games. If it's going to run PlayStation 4 level games, like how big is Red Dead 2?
Huge.
Like that game's like 200 gigs. Like you're telling me that I have to buy like a 256 gig memory card, and that's not going to hold everything that I want?
No, that's insane.
Like that's insane. Like you have to buy like. So I don't know about this, but I would like to pivot a little bit. And say that I have.
Can you answer
music
Tom?
News? Yeah.
Can you answer Tom's question in the chat?
I haven't. I've never. I have not.
Look at the screen. I put it up on the screen. Oh
no, but I haven't heard of that. I don't know.
Oh, you haven't heard of the game? All right. So what was it?
What is this?
I don't know. Yes,
1000
X. What is that game?
It looks.
Is it intense?
I have not played this. It looks very Japanese role playing game.
All right.
But it's winning all these awards. But I do. So the game I've been dying to play.
Yes.
By the way, so Black Myth Wukong finally has a release date.
What do you got?
August 20th, my anniversary.
August 20th. So, happy early anniversary to you and the female Ryan.
Yeah. So, but it's a company out of China that has been. It was a company that basically, in order to do what they wanted to do, they had to build their own motion capture studio. Basically went out of business and then came back through like crowdfunding and are finally releasing this game. So I'm very excited for that. But I would like to pivot here.
Okay.
And give you a little music news.
Music news.
We don't have a sounder for this, but it's basically my minute. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Is snakes out there this big?
No.
Yes, there are. And so in big music news, we have some good news, we have some bad news, and we have a what the fuck news.
Donnie Don.
All right, what do you got?
So, the bad news is, Richard, is that we can go the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the bad news here is like I did not get my photo pass for Lana Del Rey, so I cannot join you for Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, I don't think I told anybody yet. I am going to Lana Del Rey.
You're so excited.
I'm sorry that you didn't get a chance to go.
Yeah.
But I got tickets to Lana Del Rey at Fenway Park. I will be there Thursday nights. Can't wait.
But so I'm gonna make it up to you because my plan was to get you like a 8x10 like framed like 6 shot of Lana Del Rey that you could put up in the Dragon's Den. However, I think I have a better chance at Xfinity Center in Mansfield this summer to see Slipknot.
Oh, hell yeah.
And if I can get you a 6 Slipknot picture, that's going to go somewhere up in your predominantly displayed in your household, probably in one of your children's rooms. I'm sure they'll love it.
This is how we do it.
Hell yeah.
And so the good news that came out of this thing is I do have a photo pass for Get This concert, Richard. Hootie and the Blowfish,
Woo!
Bare Naked Ladies,
Oh, yes.
My guy, Edwin McCain.
Hell yeah.
That's my guy. And Collective Soul.
Laser beam! It's better than fireballs, you pussy!
I wanted
Dude,
you to
that's
play the fucking
exciting.
thing. Play the
Oh, I
thing.
know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that's
So I
great.
get to
Dude,
see that live.
I listen to a lot of Bare Naked Ladies even still because it's very kid friendly. Like I try not to blast too many songs around the kids with swearing, especially because they're both of the age where they'll hear it and repeat it. So I'm like, but so Bare Naked Ladies has a lot of good snappy tunes.
And it's one of those ones like you know way more Bare Naked Lady songs than you think you do. Pride of Canada, by the way.
Dude, I know a ton of them. I celebrated 2 of their albums quite a bit, go all the way back in middle school, and I'll just put their hits on.
They had a great live album too.
Yeah, dude, that's where Old Apartment was on. Brian Wilson was on.
Wilson.
If I Had $1 Million was on that.
Best version of If I Had $1 Million. By the way, that song did not age well, but the best version of that song is on. Oh, for Christ's sake! Have a fruit roll up. So the ugly news.
Yeah, what do you got?
So I also did not get a photo pass to Justin Timberlake, and a friend of mine. I was talking to a friend of mine about it, and she was like, "Well, this is probably why your boy was arrested in the Hamptons. Early in the morning, intoxicated." Now, someone said on the social media, like, well, I don't like how we're jumping to conclusions. You can be intoxicated by a smell, a sound, or an idea. So we're just really jumping to conclusions that it was alcohol and drugs. So,
yeah,
but
it's not illegal to do alcohols and drugs. So what do you think?
So what do you think? Like, well, of course, this was America.
What was he up to? What was his story about? What happened to him?
That's not something. It's probably fake, but they were like, he had coke, Molly, poppers, and then some like HIV drug in his system. I'm like, this is. I hope none of that's true, but
no, that is true. The only thing we can say to one Justin Timberlake,
you're going to have problems, just like everything else. But stay positive and stay strong.
So I saw his mugshot.
Yeah,
where he was like kind of crying. It looked like he had been crying.
Yeah.
And my first thought, and God forgive me, but my first thought is like Jessica Biel is gonna fuck him up when he gets home.
Yeah, there was
I think she'd beat him up.
She was filming something at the time, I think, when she like found out that he got arrested. So yeah, that's tough. That's a tough go.
Oh, she's gonna punch him right in the nose.
Yep.
But that's all the news that's fit to dance to from me.
You know what I bet Jessica Biel does when she sees him?
What?
Grab his dick and twist it!
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Pull him around by it, swing him like Petey Pablo, like a helicopter.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Y'all ready for bisque?
Topic du jour time, finally, Ryan. Unfortunately, we're out of time, so that'll do it for us here on the podcast tonight. No, Ryan, it is Fan Expo Boston. The bad boys of Comic-Con were back at a con. Legally, they had to change the name to Fan Expo Boston. But it's the same deal, except they were not at the Seaport this year. They're at the Heinz Convention Center. It was like 3 floors of all kinds of stuff. I found it a little maze-like.
And disjointed, I would say was the word I would go with.
Yes.
And it was a bit jarring. Are we into spoilers right now?
It's all spoilers. I do have a few interviews to play, and I queued them up so we can play those for everybody.
Here's a relatively pleasant event that used to be held in the Seaport. It used to be held in the south end of Boston, past the Seaport, right?
Yeah.
And people loved it. It was this big, wide open space. You'd have vendors. Everyone was kind of all mixed together. And then, you know what, Richard? Let's split it into 3 floors. And every single floor, everywhere you walked, you got yelled at by staff.
You got screamed at, telling you that it wasn't an exit, or that you can't get up there from here, you can't get down there from here.
Or if you don't have this pass, you can't get in here and scan your pass. This isn't an exit. You're going the wrong way. Like, people just like straight up screaming at you.
It's a good point.
If you're in line for this, the line starts here. If not, get out of the way. Like dickheads.
It's funny. Every person that was there that wasn't working was very pleasant.
Delightful.
They were so great, because one of the reasons why we stopped going to cons was the last time it was Boston Comic-Con.
Yep.
And I swear we were like 0 for 10. We would go up to somebody that was like looked kind of funny and like a cool costume or whatever, And I'm like, hey, can you answer a couple questions for the podcast? They're like, oh, no, thanks. Or like, no. And I'm like, wow. Usually people here are like excited to be a part of it, excited to be whatever. So we're like, all right, maybe this ship has sailed. But we're like, let's try it again. And we didn't bother a ton of people, but the people we did ask, like, first of all, I took a ton of photos and everybody was super happy to take a picture. And then we interviewed a few characters. And let's start with one right now. This is well, you'll see. And I actually, even for people watching on YouTube, I'll have the video right here for you. And then I'm also going to do like a super cut, and we're going to put that out on YouTube as well, of like just us bopping around here at the Fan Expo. But let's start with this gentleman here. With you right here.
Yeah. It's about Sam.
Let's start from the beginning. Can you hear this?
I can, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
All right, here we are at the Fan Expo with none other than Thor. First of all, Thor, what brought you into the Fan Expo today?
The beer and the excitement of the fans.
Very good. So you got some beer.
So let me stop right here.
We stop right here for sure. Yeah.
What I love about this, so he looks like $1 million. It's a great Thor costume. He's got Mjolnir with him. And anytime you interview somebody that is in cosplay, they have a split decision, or they have a split second to make a decision.
And
do I do this as me, Bill Jones from Natick, or do I do it as the character? And I appreciate this guy going full Thor for this one.
He did. You almost got him once. Like he almost like tried to do it, like do something out of character, but he stuck with it.
He stuck with it the whole time, which is fantastic.
And by the way, that's a pretty good impression.
It is. He has a solid voice, and again, he looks like $1 million. He's got the long hair, he's got the beard, the whole nines.
Right here.
Yeah. It's about Sam Adams, local Boston beer. Can't go wrong with that.
So, are there going to be more Thor movies?
That's classified. If you saw from the last one, I adopted a little girl about the size of a 2-year-old that's now running with me from the bad guy.
Are you going to be appearing in any TV shows coming up?
Maybe the Loki season 3, if it's still in the works, but I don't know.
Of all of your movies, which is your favorite?
Oh, obviously Ragnarok.
Correct.
When I cut my hair, but then I grew my hair back in Endgame.
What's going on with Korg and Meek right now?
They're in dispute right now because they fought over the Fortnite about a couple weeks ago, and they're still going at it right now at home.
What do you make of the Karen Reed trial?
I think she's innocent.
You almost broke him right there, which is great. Yeah.
Had to get a little something topical for him.
Mm-hmm.
A great answer. That's how Thor feels. So this story is just sweeping the galaxy at this point. If
absolutely, he knows about it.
He gets it. He knows what's going on.
At home.
What do you make of the Karen Reed trial?
I think she's innocent.
What's your favorite episode of Mac and Goo?
The one when Mac goes to school.
Very good. Thank you, Thor.
Great answer.
Unbelievable. The greatest answer we have ever received. And we've asked that question several times for several years. And Thor hit that one out of the park. The one where Mac goes to school. This is his favorite episode.
There has to be a way, and maybe Goo can do it, where we Photoshop Ernest goes to school with Mac goes to school.
Yeah. Oh, I think we definitely could. Yeah.
Or Back to School with like Rodney Dangerfield.
It's Mac.
And it's Mac. Yeah.
He loves it. He loves it. So
good guy. And like, yeah, high-fiving us at the end. Love it.
Stuff. Love that guy. Yeah. All right. We also had this. You were talking about all the different vendors that were there. I would be remiss if we didn't have one of the great rivalries now in all of podcasting.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
All right. Here I am checking in from the Wild Bills station. Still don't really know what their fucking problem is, but whatever.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. And so there was a time where like we were filming this and I was standing in front of the Wild Bills thing and there were people walking in front of me. And then I saw a Wild Bills guy like kind of yelling at you. And I thought,
wasn't.
No, I thought he was, but I thought he was yelling at you. And he was because he was kind of making like big hand motions.
Yeah,
and I thought he could hear me. So I started getting like nervous because these guys can like yell at me because I'm like, fuck these people, right? It turns out he was like, hey, do you want me to get these people out of the way for you? He's like, do you want me to tell everyone to move? I'm like,
do you guys want me to help you out?
We were saying,
yeah. You guys want me to get like so you get like a clear shot of you telling my business to fuck itself? Do you guys want to?
That's what I was like. I felt bad. I was like, no, we're good. We got it. Don't worry. Yeah.
Never mind, dude. Never
Yeah.
mind.
Never mind.
Never
And I
mind.
did forget my free lifetime soda coin, which I was absolutely going to cash in on.
You didn't get a gingy.
I
That's
didn't
the
get a
biggest
gingy.
loss in the
But
whole
if you look in the shop, they didn't have ginger ale that day.
No,
No,
did they have the black cherry? Though the black
they
cherry,
had black cherry. The black cherry's fucking awesome.
the black cherry's fire. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, we also had a chance to talk with Josh has a question in the chat. Did they have any flavored condoms?
You joke, but they have like so much shit on their website now. They were selling like they're trying to sell like sunflower seeds and shit.
Dude, Wild Bill's has condoms?
Let me see.
No way, dude.
Proper condoms for policemen who like eating Burger King. Proper whopper copper condom on.
They have craft soda, ring pop flavors, variety packs, mugs, lids, beef jerky,
Wow.
and drinking accessories.
All right, let's hear from Iron Man.
Fan Expo with Iron Man. Iron Man, what brought you out today?
The cosplay, man. Gotta love it.
So, so I love it. Great guy, really nice guy. The suit looks like it just walked off the set of the MCU. It's incredible. Like I should ask him how much it costs, but I don't want to embarrass him. But like, what a stark difference between Thor and Iron Man. Thor's like,
What difference?
Stark difference.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, what brought you out? He's like, the cosplay, baby. Like, he's not Iron Man. He's not Tony Stark. He's fucking whatever the guy's name is. But God bless him.
With Iron Man, what brought you out today?
The cosplay, man. Gotta love it.
What is the best Iron Man movie?
Actually, I would say Captain America Civil War is better than all of the Iron Man movies, but Iron Man gets to be in it.
What do you think of that answer? Best Iron Man movie. He goes Civil War.
And then says, but Iron Man gets a B.
No, he gets beaten in that.
Oh, he gets a B in that, meaning like that's as great as a B. I'm like, no, come on,
no.
man.
No, it's hard to hear him in the fucking suit. He didn't take the face off. So
And by the way, the microphones that I brought sound great. By the way,
the microphones are great. The only reason why the guys sound a little bit low is because he is in a full
muffled.
Iron Man helmet.
Yeah, it is very muffled, but it does look. I mean, sounds good.
So here's what I would say. If somebody asked you what your favorite Iron Man movie is, I would say Iron Man 1.
Yes.
If you said, what's your favorite movie with Iron Man in it, I would then say Infinity War.
I would say Infinity War.
Endgame would be a serviceable answer.
Civil War is fucking good, though.
I love
that
Civil
movie's
War.
awesome. Yeah.
I love it, but I'm saying if you're going to pick a movie that isn't got Iron Man in the title or doesn't have Iron Man in the title, then I would jump all the way to Infinity War. But either way, this is just gentleman's choice. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. Can't go wrong.
When do you think we're going to see Iron Man again?
I don't know. Robert Downey Jr. is saying that he'd love to reprise the role, so hopefully soon.
What's your take on the Karen Reed trial?
I actually don't know anything about that.
Come on, man.
I actually don't know anything about that.
You got something you got AI in that helmet. Come on.
Yeah. Fuck. Look, he's got the light. He's got the chest piece.
Oh, he did the picture where he has the light in the hands too. He's got the
right as hell, man.
What's your favorite episode of Mac and Goo?
I also don't know anything about that.
Very good. Thank you.
Yep.
So anyway, basically Iron Man putting Mac and Goo and Karen Reed kind of on the same.
So it doesn't surprise me that he hasn't heard of Mac and Goo if he hasn't heard of Karen Reed either.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Or vice versa.
The guy's locked in. I mean, he's obviously spending a lot of time on that suit.
Yeah.
That's a sick suit. I'd wear that all
And
the
by
time.
the way, it was kind of hot outside, but it was hot where we were standing. So that guy must have been just a puddle in his trousers.
The inside of that suit probably smells like hockey pads.
Oh yeah, but don't get me wrong, I love it.
Yeah, you like that.
Oh, I love it.
Get your sniffer in there. Yeah, there's no problem.
Well, I like my own. I don't like anyone else's.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah.
Last one, we have another Marvel character. A lot of Marvel characters.
A lot of Marvel characters
here.
Oh, in Boston with none other than Wolverine. Wolverine, how are you?
Good, Bob. What's up?
What brought you into the Fan Expo today?
I'm in Boston.
So he's kind of doing a Wolverine thing. I didn't realize that at first.
He said bub. He called you bub.
Bub. I don't think I heard him say bub because he said it kind of quietly.
Yeah. He's very quiet. So
because again, like there's a lot of ambient noise, and so like he's talking when I hand him the mic, so like Davey can hear him better than I can because I'm standing next to him without like earpieces in. So I'm just like kind of reacting off of what he said. But then what brought you to the Comic-Con? I'm in Boston.
I'm in Boston. Like, all right.
Great answer. Like,
So it reminds me. So I had to fill out a health form recently, and they're like, when they're like, "Have you had this?" And you click yes, and they're like, "Explain." They're like, "Have you ever had chicken pox?" Like, yes. Explain. I'm like, I had chicken pox when I was 5. There's your explanation. The same thing. Why are you at Boston Fan Expo? Because I'm in Boston.
Fine. Thank you, sir.
What should we get ready for Deadpool and Wolverine coming out soon?
Everything. The multiverse is crazy.
What's the best movie with Wolverine in it so far?
Anything with Hugh Jackman.
Is there another Wolverine that we don't know about?
Anything with Hugh Jackman.
So the movie Wolverine Origin, you like that one?
Hugh Jackman is in every Wolverine movie.
He's the only Wolverine ever put on the silver screen. Ever.
What's the best Wolverine movie? Anything with Hugh Jackman.
The one with Hugh Jackman in it. Like, Jesus, man.
Wolverine movie. Anyone that has Wolverine. Are you like X-Men, X-Men 2, X-Men 3, the Wolverine, X-Men Origins, Logan? You like
Wolverine.
You like all of those the same then?
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix. Wasn't he in Dark Phoenix for a second? Or they just had like
he was. He was like the fuck off.
No, that was actually the fuck off was in First Class.
Oh, and then he was in Days of Future Past.
Oh, he was in Days of Future Past. And then Dark Phoenix, wasn't he just in that scene where like he escaped? Like they didn't really remember there was like
no, he was in it. Yeah, this Weapon X was in that. Yeah.
He's in like 12 movies. What's your favorite one with him? Any of them?
What an answer. Why are you at Boston Fan Expo? Because I'm in Boston. What's your favorite Wolverine movie? The one with Wolverine in it.
Fucking awesome answer.
Love it.
What a great answer.
Everything. The multiverse is crazy.
What's the best movie?
Multiverse is crazy. He's not wrong.
Wild.
With Wolverine in it so far.
Anything with Hugh Jackman.
What do you think of the Karen Reed trial?
Which one?
The Karen Reed trial.
No idea.
Attaboy.
Did you think there was any chance that he was going to have
none?
Karen Reed.
Zero. Look at the guy behind him, like in like the Deadpool, like the terrible Deadpool costume. He is not impressed with that answer either.
No, he didn't like it.
No,
he didn't like it. All right.
I love when people like they're cosplaying and it's just like a tight Under Armour shirt with like graphics drawn on it. I love those.
Pretty much what he's rocking back there.
Yeah.
And it looks just like pants.
And it looks like the Wolverine guy's doing the same thing, but it was actually a full suit. It was
he's rocking a full suit, and I like his headgear. He's got a good like head.
But he had like the boots and everything. It was actually a little bit more upscale than just wearing like a shirt with.
And his claws were legit. They were long.
Yeah.
It would hurt you. But anyway, I didn't even, at the time, I'm so stupid. I'm such a bad interviewer. When he's just like anything with Hugh Jackman. They're all with Hugh Jackman. God damn it.
But again, it was hard to hear. I'm sure you didn't even catch it at the time. Yeah.
It was hard to hear. And I wanted to get to my Karen Reed question, and then I wanted to get to this.
What's your favorite episode of Mac and Goo?
No idea.
Excellent. Thank you.
No idea.
But the best is like people get kind of pissed when we ask them that question, and we're like, we have to explain to them, like, you're not supposed to know. Like, that's the joke.
What the fuck is that?
Like, Mac and Goo is very popular. Like around and regionally, they're very popular. But like to people who like don't really listen to podcasts, it's a great question to ask them. And we're waiting for the one person to be like, I know, like when the Mac goes to school, like that's a great answer. Yeah, but I'm dying for someone to be like the movie draft.
We'll get there. It'll definitely be movie draft or one of the drafts probably.
We actually were talking about, not to show our hand, but we were actually, if we met a famous person, we were gonna feed them a line.
Oh, have Marissa Tomei say, and be like, real quick too, right? Is the celebrities who were there? Yeah. It was like
very Star Wars heavy, very
Rosario Dawson was there. We didn't see her. Charlie Cox was there. They were right next to each other, and Vincent D'Onofrio. They all had really big lines. Marissa Tomei had a huge line for her, and she looked fantastic.
Oh,
the cast of the original Vacation movie. Was there. Chevy Chase was like behind a curtain, so you couldn't see him.
Yeah, like the Wizard of Oz.
And then Beverly D'Angelo and Randy Quaid. A lot of voice actors. Comic Book Alley had Jeff Loeb, and I mentioned this when we did our quick little Instagram live thing.
You were
Jeff
like
Loeb,
shook. You're like, Jeff Loeb is just sitting there by himself.
and I felt bad because I didn't want to go. I didn't have anything for him to sign. I wasn't gonna like give him money, but at the same time,
I almost took the hit. I should have taken the hit and be like, I'll buy something from him if you can. He can interview you.
Like he is maybe my favorite. Batman writer.
You've said that before.
The Long Halloween's my favorite book ever, and he wrote
Yeah.
that, and he's written a bunch of other stuff. Like I love Jeff Loeb, and unfortunately, Tim Sale, who he teamed up with a lot, the artist, he passed away not too long ago. But there's still talks that they're going to do a Long Halloween like sequel. I mean, I love him. He also did. Let me look at my collection here. He was the guy that did that whole Marvel colors.
Yes.
Remember Daredevil yellow and Hulk gray and Captain America white, and there's like another one. They were great. That was all Jeff Loeb.
Yeah.
He also did Hush, which didn't you, me, Fryer, and Scheim and Dr. Joe vote Hush like the #1 Batman book?
Yeah, we did. I mean, that is one of my favorites. Yeah.
So he was just hanging out.
He's just hanging out there.
All right. You got anything else on the Fan Expo?
No, it's still a good time, and there's still some really good merch there. I have my
Davey got a couple of sweet shirts. Oh,
Dungeons and Dragons.
I was so pissed. I wanted to get a shirt. They didn't have my size.
Oh, what was it? Was it the Swamp Thing one?
Swamp Thing. They had
Swamp
Thing like comic book cover shirt.
Oh, it was great. And so this shirt makes me laugh because there's a. Do you ever see on The Office when Michael's like talking about Dwight? He's like, "I'm a level 7 dungeon master." Like he's just like making fun of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I made that joke to somebody once, and then the person went, I go, "What?" He goes, "Dungeon masters don't have levels." Like, he's just like, he was pissed. Like he was pissed that like he had to answer that, but like he couldn't help himself. But he tried to do it under the bed, like, "Fucking dungeon masters don't have levels."
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
Your joke is so stupid. It doesn't.
He's like, "I don't even have time to explain it to you. Dungeon masters don't have levels."
Yeah, it's funny. It's something I literally never got into. I'm sure I would have loved it, but it was.
We would
I don't know.
I played once, and you know what they don't tell you is it takes a long time, depending on what you're doing. But it's like, they pictured it in like in Stranger Things. It's exactly what it is. It's like soda and fucking snacks. Like that's it, and you're just like shooting the shit and like going on quests.
I might clip that and play it on the radio. Is you saying? Yes. What they don't tell you is it takes a long time depending on what you're doing.
Meaning, like, depending on what the quest, whatever the book is.
If you're down there fucking sniffing around, poking around, it might take a while.
It's going to take you a minute. If you don't know what you're looking for, it's going to take you a while.
You got to go in with like a little bit of game plan.
Just a little bit of a plan.
That's good. Yeah. So I don't know what's next. Somebody actually DM'd us and was like, "There's a con out in Springfield." I'm like, I don't know if I can.
Oh, Jesus! Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Who's going to show up? By the way, we did look for Joshua Adams a
yes, we
lot.
Did. Yes,
we did actually actively look for him, and
or even the Romans and Greeks.
And apparently, Mac and Goo were being tailed by this person who they could tell was desperately trying to get interviewed. And then when they finally were like, "All right, let's interview him," he gave him like one-word answers. We were trying to find that kid again.
I wanted that guy desperately. Yeah. We weren't able to get him.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Joshua Adams. I'm CEO and founder of Cosplayer Nation. We did a documentary all about cosplaying across America from Maine to Seattle to Hawaii to Puerto Rico. We've won 3 awards. We're practically compass to the cosplay community, as well as we interviewed the guy who coined the phrase cosplay from the 80s, Tokenishi Takahashi.
I just feel like it'll never get better than that.
We touched the sun there.
I feel like that's the greatest interview of all time. Not to be out, these were very nice ladies.
Doing Junko Inoshima from Danganronpa.
As was
Scotty.
What about the woman? We didn't get her on film, but the palm reader or whoever the fuck that lady was who like wouldn't let you leave.
Oh yeah, no, I think we had like a connection. I think
you did. There was something special going on there.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right, let's get to this.
Pick of the bomb.
Pick of the bomb. Pick of the bomb.
Pick of the bomb.
Practically compass. I still don't know what that
Practically compass to the compass.
What does that even mean? I've heard that cut 1,000 times. Oh, practically compass. What does it mean? Is that the right word? Or was he trying to say?
I don't know what that means.
Practically compass. What if I said that? I'm gonna say that on the air tomorrow. Be like something about the Celtics. Like, they're practically compass to.
Why do you think the Celtics were so successful in Game 5? Well, they're practically compass to the layups and the Micans.
Okay.
Is that still a drill? Do people still do Micans?
Yeah, I would hope you do the Mikan drill. Is the original big man, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
If we're gonna turn our backs on George Mikan, we might as well not even play the game anymore, Ryan.
Well, because
God, that guy was great.
Anyway,
would you like
pick
to
something?
Kick, receive, defer, or you may choose at this time to defend?
I will. So this was a gift that a student gave. I found this. One of my students gave me this. It's a book. If you are interested, and I know this is very niche, Et tu, Brute, the best Latin lines ever. So they have different
Or even the
categories.
Romans or Greeks.
Exactly. So like this has some great insults in it. I won't read them all to you. I just opened the pages. Fortorum extremi latrinae. You smell of the worst type of toilet.
Oh, that's
you
bad.
smell like that's a good one.
That's a burn.
So it has some insults in it. It has
like
some nice quotes if you want to get a tattoo. I got some nice quotations for you in that book. So Et tu, Brute by Harry Mount and John Davey, not spelled the same way. John Davey, Davie.
Close.
John was my paternal grandfather's name. So I do know a John Davey, but not him.
I like that.
I do, yeah.
Can't confirm or deny.
I got another one that could be a potential standalone episode if you want to watch this show. It is on Vice, but I think they also have some of the episodes on YouTube. It's a wrestling documentary.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 episodes total. 2 of them have aired. Episode 3 is either tonight or tomorrow. It's called Who Killed WCW? And this is exactly in our wheelhouse. So this is Monday Night Wars and how Monday Nitro took off. It surpassed the WWE famously for 83 weeks. It was the #1 wrestling show on Monday nights. And then it wasn't. And then it sucked. And then it got bought by the WWF for like pennies on the dollar. And it was done. But at one point it burned brighter than anything. And I thought I knew everything about this because I've seen so many documentaries. I've listened to a bunch of podcasts. I'm like, all right, well, what more new? And in the 2 episodes, they've come at it with a few angles that I wasn't really aware of. But they got interviews with like almost all the people that you would want to have interviews with. I've
seen
good.
Bischoff is like the guy like they're interviewing a lot.
Yeah,
right? Is that him? Yeah,
Bischoff. And like Who Killed WCW? I think is it's a
Vince McMahon. Thanks for watching.
That's one
Thanks for watching. Yeah,
that's one answer. That's what I think it'd be worth talking about because like right now I'm leaning towards Hulk Hogan, even though they never would have had a fraction of the success if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan. So it's almost like he killed it, but he also may have gave birth to it too. So it's like one of those things.
But it's one of those things too where it's like I feel like I don't know enough about it, but I know nothing about this. So this is going to be an interesting watch for me. All I know is like it was popular, then it wasn't, and they had big names, and people were switching sides and whatever.
It's cool.
I feel like Vince offered these guys all this money up front, and then basically when it came time to like re-up their contracts, fuck them because they had nowhere else to go.
Yeah, there was some weird stuff, and they
like that smells like a Vince McMahon move to me.
Yeah, but they also like they were falling apart. Like Vince was I got to a point where Vince was beating them, and like if you watch it at the time, WCW was the one that was going a little bit more hard PG-13, little rated R before WWF was, and
then
like
NWO and all that stuff was like
So then they were like, screw it, let's do that, but do it more. And then that's when you got DX, Stone Cold, The Rock, and then they just took off.
They just did it better. They did it. WCW did it first. WWF did it better.
And WCW also took off because they had all these old WWF guys. Like to me, it's very fascinating, like how the whole thing kind of worked, and then how they kind of botched it when they did get all those wrestlers after the fact.
Right. Because then you had too many. Like, how do you like
too much
build up one guy over another?
Well, and then eventually you ended up getting to like Raw versus SmackDown. They had to compete against themselves because there was no other competitor.
Right. And then they bought ECW too.
Yeah, they bought that, right?
Yeah. Old ECW was the shit.
Dude, that ECW documentary. Actually, there are a couple of them, I think. Crazy.
Oh, the one just watching, what's it
fucking
New Jack? Oh my god. Literally trying to kill some guy in the ring. Trying to kill him.
Yep. He fucking tased him up on like the top of a scaffolding.
Yeah, it was a scaffolding match, and then threw him. He's like, yeah, he hit the ropes. If he didn't hit the ropes, I would have killed him. And it was like he was actually trying to kill the guy.
Correct.
And there's the other guy, fucking kid.
Then
the fat kid who got in the ring with him.
Oh, Mass Transit.
Yeah.
Is that his name? It was something like that.
It's something like that, yeah.
And then there was the fucking old guy. Remember the old guy that he fought? And the guy's, he's like, his gimmick was that he like doesn't show pain. So New Jack just like
okay,
beat the shit out of him. Yeah, the New Jack. That's a Dark Side of the Ring one.
Yes,
that was insane. All right, next week I forget off the top of my head what it is. We will definitely It'll be House of the Dragon on Sunday, and then next week TBD. We'll let you know when the next one is. But thanks everybody for listening to this. If you guys happen to go to Fan Expo, let us know what you thought of it, and also keep us up to date on all the TV shows that you're watching. If there's anything we're missing, you can't watch everything. I can't promise you I'm going to watch it, but if you have any recommendation, send it in. Recommendation, send it in.
I bring it.
I agree. All right, Rye. Promise me 1,000,000 times over you'll never do another rule.
Yeah, man. No, I'm not going to promise you that.